And good morning. We are back at 6:45 a.m. here on KFYO Mornings. Dave King and Matt Martin, and we got the Covenant gang with us again this morning. We got Chris Lancaster, who is the Vice President of Operations over at Covenant, and Dr. Dan Berman, the emergency room doctor. And we're talking about the merger with the clinics. Everybody is, or the emergency rooms. I think everybody is aware that we seem to have almost on every corner an emergency room now.
I was going to say, one question we had yesterday that we didn't actually get to is there a lot of confusion between the urgent care clinics and the ERs? Are y'all seeing people walk in thinking one's the other? Or
there is some confusion for sure, and that's partly why we're here, is we want people to go to the right place. If you've got a cold and some sniffles, we don't want you walking into the ER and we can take care of you, but you're going to get a large bill. So we want you to go to the walk-in clinic or your regular doctor when you're having a big cut on your head or you had a car accident. We want you going to the ER. It's the right place for
Broken bones or severe bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. Chest pain, concussions, those kind of things. That's where we step in. We want you to go for your regular doctor for the smaller stuff.
So that's a little off the topic for today. I mean, the topic today is what's the difference between our hospital ER and the community emergency centers?
Not too much. Just about everything they can do at the hospital we can do. We don't carry blood products. So if, again, you're in a major car wreck and you need a blood transfusion, we'd have to get you to the hospital pretty quick. We don't have an MRI on site, so when you need that.
But if you get in an accident like that, the ambulance is not going to be taking you to an emergency care center.
Correct.
Okay.
They're going to triage you appropriately and get you to the right place.
Okay. Yeah, we do not accept ambulances there currently. And, one thing to remember is that these actually, and this is what makes these unique, is these are actually departments of our hospital, Covenant Medical Center. And so these Covenant Quaker and Covenant Milwaukee locations, they fall into the same regulatory requirements as our main hospital. So the same governing and accrediting bodies that come out and inspect the quality and level of care at the medical center, we're under those same requirements at these two locations now to ensure that you're going to get the same level of care at these locations as you might at Covenant Medical Center.
So are the community emergency centers, are they still 24 hours?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
24/7.
I know I drove by one today, and the sign yesterday, and the sign had been changed to the Covenant versus the whatever was there. I forget.
West Texas ER, yeah.
But they had a big, I think, thing that said that 24 hours or something, and that wasn't as prevalent. So I was just going to ask.
Right, they are. And Dr. Hendershot's going to be with you guys in the morning, kind of talking about his perspective of urgent care under our Covenant Medical Group. And so there is some overlap there sometimes in the types of patients, and sometimes it might just be time of day. I mean, we try to run our urgent cares as late as we can to kind of capture the majority of those instances that happen. They never seem to happen at convenient times. It's always later.
Or on the weekend.
That's exactly right.
And I just wonder on these emergency care centers that are open 24 hours. I mean, seriously, is there a lot of traffic after 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning?
There's not a lot after 2 or 3 in the morning. We do get a trickle coming in.
And it's usually what? Chest pains?
Chest pain's
Fights.
a common one. Fights, abdominal pain is our most common complaint. You start feeling lousy at 2 in the morning, there's really nowhere else for you to go.
So you give them Pepto-Bismol and send them home?
There's a little more to it usually than that, but sometimes that's involved.
So your child has a fever. At what point should you take them to the emergency room?
That is a tough question. Yeah, that's a hard one. More important than the fever is how they're looking. So if they're looking just kind of tired, maybe a little sick, probably okay to take them to the doctor. If they're really lethargic and unresponsive or just unconsolable, probably time to go to the ER. They might have something more serious.
Yeah, and these satellite emergency rooms are great for kids. I mean, even though we've got the only area's licensed children's hospital, sometimes as a parent, you're anxious and you're just wanting to get in and you're going as quick as you can down there. And so I know with 2 kids, I've been in that situation. And so we do see a lot of kids at these locations. And it's a great place for that.
Yeah.
And we like to see them.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, Covenant does a great job, and I'm sure. Remind us of the locations that were acquired.
It's the 80th and Milwaukee location, the South Quaker, 102nd and Quaker. Those were the 2 West Texas ER locations that were acquired and now part of the Covenant system.
Now, you're an ER doctor. Do you work at those locations?
Yes, I do.
So was there some kind of rotation?
Yeah, it's totally chaotic, but yes, I work at both of them.
I imagine you could write a book.
A lot of people have.
I have a cousin who is an ER nurse, an RN, and some of the stories that she tells, the things that you get in there is just incredible.
It is. It's probably a little more incredible at the main hospital, but there's a lot.
Does Covenant have any thoughts or are they looking at expanding the ERs that they have? In other words, maybe to some of the smaller communities, having these emergency centers there versus having to put in a full hospital?
Yeah, our goal is to really support the communities that surround us. I mean, we work well with those. We can't survive without those thriving and doing well. And so I think each situation is unique, but ultimately our goal is to partner with them and to find out really what they need in that community and how can we help. But with each situation being unique, we don't necessarily have a strategy to go in and do those. It's really just more how can we partner with you and support you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and that about does it. The good information. And tomorrow we'll be talking with
Dr. Hendershot will be here talking about our urgent care locations and some of the differences.
Very good. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks again.
See you tomorrow.